Welcome to CHUBB Talks. And in this segment, we're going to be discussing NIL in its simplest form to get a better understanding of what it is, how impactful it is, and some of the pros and cons. So now let's discuss it. What does NIL mean? NIL stands for name, image, and likeness. The definition of NIL is simple. It is a possibility of compensation paid to NCAA athletes, student athletes, to promote, partner, or represent brands. Even more simple way to understand it, you are the brand. The companies, the businesses, the sponsors, the endorsers, they're seeking you as the brand to promote their business, promote their brands, and to network and build relationships with you, the student athlete. Businesses want to partner with your brand. Okay? So that's just a simple way to understand NIL. I am the brand. How do I carry myself? How do I approach the game? What do I put out on social media? How can I attract businesses, sponsors, endorsements so that I can use my name, image, and likeness in its maximum potential? Okay? Now we're going to be discussing some ways that student athletes have used their name, image, and likeness to either get compensation, gifts, endorsements, things of that nature. Student athletes can be paid for their autograph, developing their own merchandise. Very important. Y'all got to tap into this. Listen up. Your own merchandise, your own gear, promoting products or services, and event appearances. All right. So promoting products, services, doing commercials, event appearances, showing up to camps, showing up to dinners, showing up to different signing events. You are your own celebrity. You carry yourself in high regards as a brand, marketing yourself and your abilities, your likeness, your ability to be relatable, your ability to be a story to help someone else. You know, you market yourself the best way that you know how. Now, athletes are starting to own their own brands, endorsing brands, and becoming their own brands. Very important stuff right here. So now let's discuss how important NIL is in today's time. It is 2025. Got to take advantage of NIL. If you are in high school and middle school and you plan to play at the collegiate level and you don't know about NIL, you got to get an understanding. You got to understand how important it is. Not only because people have paved a way for you to get this opportunity, but understand that this is something that can change your life. All right. So look, the mutual beneficial relationship is built off the athlete's fame. In order to grow a business, previously, NCAA athletes were forbidden to profit off their celebrity and fame. So in history, there's been numerous of athletes. You know, one of the biggest names, Reggie Bush. You know, he had received money, gifts, or whatever the case may be, and they took his Heisman away because it crossed the boundaries of the amateur role. Okay, so this is very important. In 2025, you don't have to worry about crossing those boundaries of the amateur rule anymore. You can get compensated based off of your name, image, and likeness. You can get gifts. You can get endorsements. You can get sponsorship based off of your name, image, and likeness, and it will not damage your amateur level. It will not. You will not be considered as a professional. You can still compete at a high level in college sports and still be able to get compensated for your name, your image, and likeness. This is very big because before 2023, it's not something that was allowed. So we're making breakthroughs and strides in the college world. And this is very important. Now that we have discussed that this is not something that's always been around, let's get an understanding of the history behind the amateurism rule and why it was something that wasn't allowed and how important it is to cherish and be appreciative of, the new breakthroughs and opportunities we have today. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, and share this with one of your sports friends, man. Especially those that don't know about NIL. For those high school players that are grinding their butts off trying to get that exposure, let them know, hey man, this NIL stuff is real. Amateurism is closely related to eligibility for athletes to participate in college sports. Student athletes must maintain their amateur status, which means they cannot receive compensation beyond the value of their scholarships and related educational expenses. Very important to understand. This means if you aren't getting compensation from your scholarships or some educational scholarship, there was no way for you to get compensated for your abilities, your name, your image, or your likeness. There was no sponsorships. There was no endorsements for college athletes. That's very important. If a student athlete were to accept payment for athletic performance or endorsements, they risk losing their eligibility to compete in NCAA sanctioned events. So that means if you were to take a gift or you were to receive a car or a check for whatever the case may be, you know, because you made a touchdown or took the team to the playoffs or y'all won a national championship. Everybody gonna celebrate you, but if you were compensated for that and you cross the lines of the amateurism rule, oh, you're done. Eligibility is taken away, or you're gonna have to go see a board and have to discuss your actions, and they will have to decide whether or not you should still be able to compete or not. You don't have to worry about that today. So when we talk about NIL and the opportunities that are presented, the ball is in the athlete's court. So you have a major opportunity to change your life with this. All right. I'm gonna show y'all something real quick. So you might recognize this name if you into college sports. Nico, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he was a quarterback that was recruited to play at the University of Tennessee. All right. His potential NIL deal was worth $8 million. This dude had this NIL deal proposed before he even graduated high school. I don't know if y'all hearing this or not. Before he graduated high school, this was proposed to him to play at Tennessee. Okay, you understand, as a high school athlete, you have opportunities to change your life, your family's life, create a legacy, a dynasty. This is very important to understand how much NIL has changed the lives and will continue to change the lives of athletes. Not even just college. We're talking about high school athletes in certain states. I know for a fact, Texas and Florida, I know in Texas, you have to be 18 before you can, um, take an NIL deal. But when you're in high school, the deals are ready. They're lined up for you. It's literally straight out of high school. 17, 18 years old. It's just amazing, the turns that we making in sports right now. With this NIL, we blowing the top off with it, man. This is it's beautiful. So, that's just something I wanted to just drop in there, a little nugget, so that you can understand the realness of this situation. I'm talking about you 18, 19 years old, 17, maybe even in college. You playing as a true freshman, you getting NIL deals worth millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's crazy, man. But it's beautiful that the game is elevated in such a way that the athletes are being able to be compensated for all of the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears that they're putting into the game. You're not just working, 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 and not seeing you know, no compensation on the back end. It's beautiful. You get your school paid for and all of that. But before, that's all it was. You might get housing. You might have a little bit of extra to go, do a little something, something. Before this NIL, your value was undervalued when it came to getting compensated for, what not only what you brought to the team, but to the brand, to the name, to the legacy, to the organization, compounding and multiplying and growing their image. But now you can get that compensation. Now you can reap the benefits of what's been sown. And it's beautiful. But I appreciate y'all tapping in with the first part of this segment and getting an understanding of what NIL is in the simplest form. And make sure you stay tuned because we got more segments of this NIL talk coming up soon. Peace.